It is the day when Ukrainians honour those who fought to make their country independent and free. In suitably grim weather, President Zelenskyy and his First Lady did so knowing it is now threatened like never before. As he laid out in no uncertain terms, a turning point is approaching for Ukraine, but also the entire Western alliance.
Зараз один з найважчих моментів нашої історії.
This is one of the hardest moments in our history. The pressure on Ukraine today is among the heaviest we have ever faced. Currently, Ukraine may be facing an extremely difficult decision, either a loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner.
Donald Trump has swung his weight behind a plan that effectively takes Russian demands and presents them as peace proposals. They add up to little more than a surrender ultimatum for Ukraine, but far from backing down, the president was today setting a deadline for Ukraine's compliance.
We have, I've had a lot of deadlines, but if things are working well, you tend to extend the deadlines. But Thursday is, we think, an appropriate time.
The plan has 28 points. They include handing territory to Russia it has taken by force in Crimea and the Donbass, and land it's fought and failed so far to seize. In the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, land would be divided along current military lines. There would be demilitarized zones, and Russia would give up small pockets of land it's taken. The Ukrainian military would be neutered, more than halved in size, limited to 600,000 personnel. Ukraine would be forever barred from joining NATO. But it's this proposal doing the most damage to the Western alliance that talks between Russia and NATO would be mediated by the United States, which is meant to be its founding and strongest partner, not an outside arbitrator. $100 billion in frozen Russian assets would be used for Ukraine's reconstruction, but only in such a way that America can profit from it. The plan has blindsided allies. They are struggling to keep up. Britain's Prime Minister choosing to ignore the obvious truth about this plan, that there is now a massive gulf between Europe and America.
We all want a just and lasting peace. That's what the President of America wants. That's what we all want. And so we need to work from where we are to that end. But the principle that Ukraine must determine its future under its sovereignty is a fundamental principle.
Europe's Foreign Affairs Supremo, Kaja Kallas, was more blunt.
Russia has no legal right whatsoever to any concessions from the country it invaded. Ultimately, the terms of any agreement are for Ukraine to decide.
But with America now threatening to take military weapon support and, crucially, military intelligence away, Ukraine would be blind in the face of Russian attacks if it does not comply. Unsurprisingly, in Moscow, Putin was giving the plan an understated welcome.
I too believe it could form the basis for a final peace settlement. But this text is not being discussed with us in any substantive way, and I can assume why. I believe the reason is the same. The US administration has so far been unable to secure the consent of the Ukrainian side. Ukraine is against it.
This is the week that more than 30 Ukrainian civilians were killed by Russian drones, among them several children. While Ukraine burns, America's sympathies in this conflict lie clearly with Moscow. If Russia is allowed to keep land it has taken by force and impose terms via American negotiators, the freedom that Ukraine has fought to defend for all of us is potentially in grave peril. Frantic diplomacy is underway to deflect Donald Trump again. But this time, his intentions seem clearer than ever. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News.